It's the nation's favourite antiques experts.
Help.
Behind the wheel of a classic car.
Well, hey, hot stuff.
And a goal to scar Britain for antiques.
It's chopping waters out here.
The aim? To make the biggest profit at auction. But it's no mean feat. There'll be worthy winners and valiant losers.
It couldn't go worse, could it?
Will it be the high road to glory?
Oh, I like your style.
Or the slow road to disaster?
Oh, blimey.
Oh, need me to get out and push.
This is Antiques Road Trip. Yeah. We're back, this time in the glorious and bountiful southwest of England, famous for its farming prowess.
I had a packet of Hereford flavoured crisps the other day.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
So the lovely cows we see in the field, you've eaten them in the form of crisps.
Poking fun from the driver's seat is David Harper, and beside him, bringing all the knowledge to the table, is Tamina Gaffar.
They're also great foragers, those
What
cows.
are people in Herefordshire?
Well, the cows.
The cows.
And us when we get there. Foraging for antiques.
And speeding these rivals to their hunting grounds is the 1980 Datsun 280 ZX. So far on their tour, antiques broker and YouTuber David Harper has shown off his eclectic tastes.
Very posh. Sit down, Lou. Absolutely delicious.
If you say so. Meanwhile, road trip newbie Tamina from the big smoke down south has played her own game.
Look at the mini wickets.
But David scored the most so far, achieving an unassailable 3-0 lead. However, Tamina's not giving up. She has pride to play for. And tastily, our antiques aficionados have a fresh £200 to spend. Get your lips around that.
What are you doing, David?
I'm chewing grass. I've got a spare.
Oh,
here.
no, you don't.
I do. This was for me later. Stick that in, you gob.
Oh.
Hopefully, all that chewing won't spoil your appetite for antiques. Their journey kicked off in the northwest, making sojourns through Northumberland and Cambridgeshire. Now heading towards the Welsh border, they'll eventually finish up on the southwest tip of Wales.
This isn't the worst thing
It's
ever.
nice.
Time passes quite slowly in the country, doesn't it?
This is my attempt to stop you talking.
Whoa, charming! It won't work.
I should hope so too. Today, Tamina and David will hopefully be chatting all the way to Monmouth, but they're blasting off in Tewkesbury. Formerly known as Theoksbury, this market town was named after its founder Theok, a Saxon hermit. And much like the solitary hermit, David has dropped Tamina off and is starting his shopping trip alone in the Malt House Emporium. This vast space blends modern decor with vintage and antiques spread between 70 traders. Heaven forbid David gets lost and finds himself pursuing anything brand new.
Oh, bit of Chinese memorial. Very nice.
I shouldn't have worried.
So these were dishes that were painted, decorated in China for very wealthy European clients who would send to the porcelain manufacturers their own designs to be painted onto dishes. 1720, which would make perfect sense for that design. However, what kills this dish dead
Bit dramatic, that, Albin.
is that Samson memorial dish. And their speciality was making copies, fakes. So not for me, but what an interesting piece of history.
Quite right. Best leave the copies where they are. While Mr. Harper navigates that behemoth, Tamina has made her way north to Starport-on-Severn. This vibrant Georgian town boomed in the 18th century when it was chosen as a junction port for the Staffordshire and Worcestershire Canal and the River Severn. A short hop from its historic wharf is Tamina's first foraging spot, Heath Cottage Antiques. Owner Colin has packed this treasure trove with everything from military to medical equipment.
Oh, hello. This looks like a CPR training device. But you can... She breathes. Oh.
Better you than me, but come on, focus.
These are absolutely beautiful. They are Lotus shoes.
They were part of the foot binding practice in China, which was started around the 10th century.
Great spot, Tamina.
Small feet were considered particularly beautiful. Women would have their feet bound to make them incredibly small, and they would wear these sort of decorative shoes, and they weren't functional. They're made of silk, a material that degrades so easily. To have a pair with so much of its material still intact is quite rare. Now, they're listed as £110. There is potential profit at auction. I think I might come back to these.
And we'll come back to you, Tamina. I wonder how David's rummage is going.
Oh, furniture stand.
I should have known. Of course, he's found the big brown stuff.
And one of my all-time favourite pieces of furniture, the classic Canterbury, first introduced in the 18th century, circa 1770, 1780, and named after the Archbishop of Canterbury, because the Archbishop of Canterbury commissioned a piece of furniture to hold magazines, newspapers and sheet music. This particular design is late 18th, early 19th century. And if you look very closely, I've just noticed this, you can see how this rail is inset into that block. So beautifully done. The quality is astonishing. So at 40 quid or thereabouts, I predict possibly a double bubble, double your money profit.
Thereabouts, I presume he's hoping to charm a discount out of John, who's minding the shop today. So watch out.
Have a look at this. Isn't it just gorgeous?
It is.
Priced at 40. Can we shave a bit off?
We'd normally do 10%.
Yeah.
But we can probably squeeze an extra £1 off that and do your 35.
That'll do nicely. Thank you very much. Let me give you some money.
Thank
A
you.
fantastic start. Spending only £35 means David has 165 smackers left in his pocket.
Great, thank you very much.
Very good to see you.
You too.
Thanks a lot. Cheerio.
Bye-bye.
That's one happy chappie sorted. But it looks like his rival over in Starport is getting all dolled up.
This looks like it would have been a temple bronze. Now, whilst I can't exactly tell who this might be, you can tell that this piece would have been in a temple because people would have touched it to try and get some of the blessings from the particular deity when they went to visit the temple. And so areas would have been worn from all the contact, like it is here.
Like touching a statue for good luck.
There is still evidence of gilding, which is worn away as well. More indication that lots of people have handled this item. It's got a good weight to it, and it has considerable age. This might be a really good option for auction. We've got it here at £65. With this, I'm going to grab the shoes and see what we can do.
Her expensive taste requires a dazzling deal from Colin.
Colin, hi.
Hi, Tamina. You found something?
Yeah, I found two, well, you could say three, beautiful things in your shop. Now, we've got these at 110.
Okay.
This is 65.
175.
Could you do 140? 90 for the shoes and 50 for the figure.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you, Colin.
Wowzer! Tamina has just £60 left to spend across 2 remaining shops.
Thank you so much, Colin.
Now, David has motored north to pick up Tamina and they're speeding off to their next shop, Herefordshire way.
What are we going to fine dine on this evening?
So, Hereford, known for its jam.
Jam?
Let's have some jam sandwiches.
Jam
Jam on
sandwiches?
scones.
Oh no, I sense trouble.
Scone is the correct Old English pronunciation.
Oh,
I think you'll find it comes from the Gaelic word scone, my laddie.
It was the flouncy dandies that came up with this own.
I'm the fancy dandy.
Yes, you're a fancy dandy.
You sure about that?
Well, maybe not.
That's right, you keep him in check, Tamina. These 2 playful pals are heading west to the historic town of Leinster. In the 13th century, jealous citizens of its larger neighbour, Hereford, sacked the town and burned lots of it down. But the only thing our rivals will be ransacking today is the Leinster Antique Centre, housed in this gorgeous Georgian building. And whilst David parks the car, Tamina gets a head start. This huge Georgian manor has a whopping 17 rooms for our competitors to scour.
I always get so excited when I spot something Middle Eastern in an antique shop. Now this looks like it's Persian, or possibly by the shape of it, Ottoman. This is what is called a kalemdan, or pen holder. And this area would be where you would place your writing device, the quill. That's where you would have stored your ink. And this would have allowed a scribe to transport his writing implements in his belt and write from basically anywhere.
So, the laptop of its day then.
Now, it's priced here at 45 and marked down to 20. That gives me more than enough room to make a profit and beat David. I'm going to see if I can find one more item in here and take this with me.
Hurrah! One down, but good plan to keep hunting. Especially as David's hot on your trail. Unlike Tamina, who only has £60 left, David is rolling in cash with a mammoth £165 to spend in this massive mansion.
Fishing rod. And I'm drawn to fishing rods. I'm not really. But what I am drawn to with this one is the colour. Look at that colour and patination. What, 150 years worth of handling, greasy hands, sandwiches, mugs of tea, all rolled in and rubbed in.
I'm glad someone finds that appealing.
So you've got like cotton reels binding it, brass fittings, it's a roach pole. In the 19th century, the vast majority of the fish caught in the Thames were roach. I'm kind of tempted to put it together, but these roach poles on average extend to around 14 feet. So I think I would just knock everything over.
Very wise. If you break it, you buy it.
It's £5. So I think for a fiver in auction, that is a guaranteed profit maker.
Yeah, big talk, David. But you know, you might be onto something there. That is mighty cheap.
We're wandering around a big antique in itself here. This is Georgian and it's just lovely. Big square rooms, wooden floors. Oh my goodness me. And perfect. A Georgian, mid-Georgian tobacco box.
How delightfully fitting.
So this is transporting us now back to the mid-18th century. Gosh, it's got tobacco in it. Ah! I've just spilt tobacco all over the place. Okay, this is a community box. That's how they would describe them. Because it was designed, this box, to sit on a table and to be used communally with your friends, either maybe in a tavern or at home. You'd invite people around, and it was a social thing.
Back before the dangers of smoking were well known, of course.
Lead, very heavy, keeping it sturdy on the table. And rare here, we have the tamper lid.
Tobacco is very sensitive to light, temperature and humidity. If it gets too dry, it loses fragrance and taste. Tobacco jars were developed across many cultures, and tamper lids compress the tobacco, keeping the air out.
So priced at 50 quid. They make that. I love it so much, I almost don't care how much it is. I'm going to buy it.
I do hope you're coming back to clean up. The antiques are inside the building, Tamina, although David seems to have strayed out here too.
Hello.
Hello.
What are you up to?
I'm playing with my geraniums.
This isn't antiquing at all.
It is not, but it's therapeutic. Would you like to join me and I'll tell you all about my gardening?
Oh, yes, why not?
Yes. Well, my gardening days generally start about 5 a.m. Yeah.
Of course they do.
Nice cup of coffee in the garden, wandering around, talking to my plants. Occasionally they wilt.
I'd love to hear more, David.
Would you? Oh, well, okay. Well, let's say
but
it's like 6
I
a.m.
do need to carry on finding some winning antiques. So I'm just going to leave you here and I'll see you later.
Don't you like interesting conversation?
If I heard some, I would.
Ooh, cutting, Tamina. But yes, chop chop. David's found 2 items here already, so you've got some catching up to do.
This looks like pietra. Pietra was an artisanal tradition similar to mosaicing, in which layers of stone were set into other items to create patterns. The difference between this Pietra and mosaic is that Pietra wouldn't use grout. And the idea was that once the image had been created, the surface would be completely smooth. It looks to be Indian from the lattice work on the sides, and also from the shape of the petals, which taper at the ends, something quite quintessentially Indian in the way that they would portray flowers.
Great detective work there.
Now, it's £5. It's in my budget, my very meagre now budget. I think I'm going to talk to Gary and get these wrapped up and under my belt.
Sounds like a plan. I'm sure Gary's waiting patiently downstairs, but it seems Mr. Harper has found his way to the attic room.
What on earth is that? Crikey malikey.
A basket, David?
Blimey, very, very well made. Tight rattan, nothing's going to come out of there. Bamboo. Smells gorgeous, because it smells old. So, a tea picker's basket. Rattan, woven, possibly from Nepal. Well, hey, I have never in my whole life seen or handled such a thing. Now, that is so beautifully put together. The workmanship in this is delicious. Good shape. So that then would go over the back, I suppose, would it, of the tea picker? It's got to be 100 years old. I mean, that rattan, when made, would have been very straw-like in its colour. So what, early 20th century? Something like that? I think it's just fascinating.
Ditto.
20 quid. I have no idea what somebody would want it for, but I don't care. It's 20 quid. It's got to be worth a punt.
Well, that's caution thrown to the wind, but could be profit there, much like Tamina's. I wonder if she's found Gary yet.
Hi, Gary.
Hello, Tamina.
I found these two lovely things.
Good, I'm glad you found something.
Now, this is 20.
Yep.
This is 5.
Yep.
I'm not going to waste any of your time. Happy to pay that.
Great, thank you. So that's £25 then, thank you.
Lovely.
Cracking stuff. Tamina's gone all out today, bagging 4 items, but now she's only got £35 left for tomorrow.
Great.
Thanks very much then.
Gary.
Thank you, bye-bye.
That's one done. So hurry up, David.
This is tricky carrying all this lot.
Oh, do you let me take
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
All right.
would you
Oh, you
mind that?
found something now, that's
I've found
good. Oh,
3
well
things.
done, well done.
A tea picker's basket, priced at 20 quid.
£20, yeah.
So I'll have that.
You're right,
Okay.
£20 for that.
A roach rod,
Yep.
priced at a £5.
Can't go wrong with that.
I can't go wrong with that. I'm going to
No,
have that. Okay.
That sounds good.
This is now where it starts to get a bit complicated
Yep.
and tricky.
Yep.
Gary. So mid-18th century tobacco box.
Yeah.
I think it's drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah,
I want it desperately,
yes.
but it's priced at 50 quid.
Right.
Be kind.
This dealer, most he'd do is 20%, so that'd have to be £40.
Can we get down to 35?
Would meet in the middle, say 37. How's that?
Bish bash and indeed bosh. That trio has set him back 62 smackers, meaning he'll have a huge 103 to play with tomorrow.
You're a star. I'm off.
Yep, okay.
See you.
Yep. Well, that was a very fruitful visit. 5 items purchased between them. And speaking of fruit, thoughts have turned to a different type of consumption.
Anyway, so jam and scones.
Yeah.
What are we going to wash them down with?
Hereford, known for its cider.
Is it proper like scrumpy cider?
Should find out.
Should have a bit of scrumpy.
Not too much, please. We need a clear head for tomorrow. Night, night. Wakey, wakey, rise and shine. Another day in Herefordshire. David's being very generous and doing all the driving. Or perhaps he just loves his car.
Of course, Hereford is known for the SAS regiment. Yeah. Ruthless, grueling training.
Harder than the Antiques road trip? Surely not.
How do you think you would hold up on that kind of training?
I genuinely think not well.
Me neither.
But would the SAS know an antique bargain when they saw one? Yesterday, our bright beginner blew her budget on some silk Lotus shoes, a Middle Eastern pen and ink holder, a Pietra box, and a temple bronze, leaving her with just £35 to spend today. whereas veteran David forked out only £97 on a tobacco box, a tea picker's basket, a bamboo roach pole and a mahogany fave.
The classic Canterbury.
So he's got a whopping 103 big ones left to play with. But before they whack out their wallets again, our chums are going to see not one but two of this area's ancient treasures.
You know what? I've never been to a library with chained
You
books.
said you've never been to a library.
Chained library, as in the books are chained.
The books are chained because I initially thought it was a library of chains.
Hey, it's far more interesting than that, Tamina. Our chums are motoring on to Hereford, a city that dates back to Anglo-Saxon times. We're heading for its cathedral, which has had a place of worship on its site since the 8th century. But the present building dates to the 1100s. But what makes this cathedral exceptional is that it houses the Mappa Mundi, a giant medieval map. It's an amazing window into the psyche of the medieval world, depicting stories and mythical creatures as well as geography. Tamina is meeting the Reverend Canon James Pacey to uncover its secrets.
Wow, James, what an incredible space.
I know, it's wonderful. We're really blessed to have it. So this is the actual original, genuine article that is the Mappa Mundi.
Made out of a single sheet of vellum, calf skin to you and I, it's believed that the map was made around the year 1300 and is the only medieval map of its kind that has survived complete.
Bright lights can really affect the longevity of it, the sustainability of it. So we have to keep the light at a certain level, but we do have one you can go and see and touch and explore at your leisure. So do you want to go and have a look?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Whilst they head off to find the more user-friendly version of the Mappa Mundi, David is being shown around the largest surviving chained library in the world by cathedral librarian Jennifer Dumbleton.
Gosh, now a chained library, and I think I know the reason why the books are chained. Is it the obvious?
Yes, for security, really. So at the time when this was built in the early 17th century, or even before in the medieval period, when it would have looked a bit different, there's a suggestion that a manuscript, of which we've got 229, would have been worth the value of a farm.
Oh, well, worth pinching. Yeah. And then and now, who would have been eligible to use a chained library?
It would have been the canons of the cathedral. So we never had monks here. We always had canons who have other duties in the city or in the county. And they would have come to use the chained library to do their research for sermons or legal matters.
Hereford Cathedral's chained library is one of a handful left in Britain. However, they were common across Europe from the Middle Ages until the 18th century.
Can you show me how exactly I would use a chained library?
Yes.
That is a good locking mechanism, I've got to say.
It's amazing, isn't it? It springs out beautifully.
That fabulous mechanism releases the rods, which all the chains and books are linked to. Each book has a chain attached to its front cover. When locked, a book can be taken from the shelf and read at the desk, but not detached from the bookcase.
Okay, so you're moving all the chains out the way.
Yeah. I'm going to find the book I need, which in this case is very conveniently placed.
Okay.
And then I've got to just move this one along.
But today, they're disconnecting this book entirely from its shackles for David, on the promise he'll return it, of course.
So nobody can actually sit down here any longer and use and study the books. They have to go elsewhere.
Yes. Partly because it's just easier. There's not much space here, is there?
No. But in the olden days, when it was a functioning,
Absolutely.
study library, this is how it would have worked.
Absolutely, and you wouldn't have had to go through all that rigmarole because it would have still been attached to the shelf.
And then you just put it back.
And then we just put it back when you're done. Mm-hmm.
Okay. The chains themselves, are they? Will these be period?
Well, the majority of them, yes.
Yeah.
The chain library in this form came in the 17th century, but we had books with medieval chains as well. But these are probably 17th century, made in Birmingham.
I see. And how old is the oldest book in the library?
So the oldest book in our library is from around 800. It's called the Hereford Gospels. Yeah, 1200 years old, which is quite remarkable, really.
Remarkable indeed, Jennifer, just like the ancient map that Tamina is taking a deep dive into.
So this is a complete replica of the one that you saw a few minutes ago.
Now, the Mappa Mundi.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Literally it means cloth of the world, although today we kind of understand it as map of the world. So when people think of the word map, they think of a geographical or navigational map.
Right.
But
And is this not?
No, although it does have places of the world and shows places of the world, it's far more a narrative rather than a navigational map. It reveals how the medieval period and the medieval people saw their place in the world. But it tells the story of a people about where they've come from, where they are, and where they're going to.
So I can see a central point in the middle here. Now, what
So
is
slap bang in the middle is the city of Jerusalem. Christianity was absolutely essential to the medieval worldview. And within that, Jerusalem was not only seen as the centre of the world, it was also seen as the spiritual centre of the world, the spiritual capital. And then, of course, at the top of the map, reigning in majesty, is Jesus himself.
What sort of stories can we see here?
So many. I'm going to show you one of my favourite stories over
Please
here.
do.
So this is a portrayal of one of the biblical stories in Exodus. Moses leads the people out of Egypt, out of slavery. And then what happens next? For about 40 or so years, they get lost in the wilderness. And they keep going round in circles. And whoever's drawn the map has made it so that she's just put some squiggles and circles to show them getting lost before they finally cross over the river into the promised land. And I just love that because it just feels such a human way. So how am I going to show that? I'll just do a few squiggles.
Lovely. That's very nice.
What an incredible window into the past. You could spend hours poring over it and uncovering its stories. But these two must tear themselves away and trot off into the wilderness again. Though hopefully no squiggles for them as they head to the charming town of Ross-on-Wye. It's famed as the birthplace of modern British tourism because an 18th century rector created the Wye Tour, taking passengers along the river from Ross to Chepstow. But today, Tamina will be keeping her feet on terra firma and exploring Lot 47.
Hi, Andy.
Welcome to Ross-on-Wye.
Oh, thank you so much.
Andy's treasure trove might be small in footprint, but it's packed to the gunnels, so plenty for Tamina to spend her £35 on.
Oh, these are very sweet. They have a little image of William Shakespeare on them. These would probably be 1920s, 1930s maybe. And they're priced at £25, which is just within my budget.
There's plenty more to see though, Tamina. I think we've lost her, which gladly I cannot say for David, who's made his way safely all the way to Monmouth in Wales. Although peaceful now, this town was no stranger to border skirmishes back in the day, and it boasts the only remaining medieval fortified river bridge in Britain. David's hoping to find something as unique at the Phoenix Yard reclamation.
Oh, one of my favourite figures in the whole world. Budai, the laughing Buddha. So Budai literally translates to sack, a cotton sack or a Hessian sack. And the whole idea with Budai is he would wander around the world aimlessly, spreading good news, spreading joy and happiness. I can't see any price ticket on him, but this thing is worth a lot of money. If I could bag him for £1,000, which I can't because I don't have enough money, I would be absolutely delighted. I'm going to give his tummy a little rub for good luck. You must always do this.
Better move on then, David. Eyes on the prize. Hopefully, Tamina is back in the game over in Ross-on-Wye.
In order to keep this instrument in good condition, one must never keep it in a damp or wet place. Never against a damp wall. Never on the floor. Never under a sofa, bed or wardrobe.
Well, that's us told.
So this is what they call a zither, which is a German table harp. Called it a piano chord or a piano harp here. And it says it's made in Germany, which makes sense.
Zithers come in many varieties, but essentially consist of a flat, resonating box with numerous parallel strings stretched over its horizontal surface. The earliest known zither is the Chinese kuchin. Chinese law holds that it was created during the 3rd century BC.
It's got such a nice ring to it. I don't see many of these, and I don't think they're made anymore. I think this could be a really lovely thing to offer at auction. Now, there is a price here. It's £50. Might see if Andy is willing to go down a little bit.
Well, don't ask, don't get.
Andy, hi.
Hello.
I found something that I've fallen in love with.
What have you found? Oh, that's nice.
Now, I saw that you've got £50 on it. I think you know what I'm going to ask. Is there anything you can do on the price?
How about 40 quid?
Can you do 35?
Yeah, sure, why not?
That'd be brilliant. Thank you.
I hope you do really well with it.
Oh, thank you so much.
Well, that's the coffers emptied. Tamina has spent all £200 of her budget on 5 items.
Well, that's what I've got.
Cool. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you, Andy.
Well done, Tamina. You deserve a good rest. But over in Monmouth, the rummaging continues.
I do actually quite like a tin box. Sort of surprising, but I do. There's an awful lot of character in these tin boxes. I love that. That's got a very good shape. It's almost like a 19th century posh wooden tea caddy shape. Then we've got a great big travel trunk on the base there. Then you've got like a safe box, a strong box behind, standard. And that looks like a toolbox. Look at that. Stout and strong. You could use this just as well today as some workman was in circa 1950. Fantastic. Built to last. Oh, I'm sounding like my father.
Beginning to look a bit like him too.
Right, 4, all priced up separately. I'm going to go through the figures here. 28, 18, 27 and 48. That's £121. Right, I'm going to try and do a deal.
Brace yourself, Dave.
Now, Dave.
Hi, buddy. How are you?
Very good to see you. Before we start, would £100 buy Budai?
I'm afraid not.
Didn't think so.
Not for a second.
OK, back to reality then. You've got 4 tin boxes.
Yeah, I know the ones
You know the ones. Adding all of the prices up, it comes to £121. I'd like to buy all 4. What could you do?
They've come in at a reasonable price, so I can let them go. I can give you a 50% reduction and call it 60 quid.
60 quid will do me nicely. Thank you very much indeed.
Not bad. That means David finishes with £43 left over.
Let me give you some money.
Thank you very much.
You're a star.
Excellent, thank you.
And you're very lucky to own that fella.
Oh, yes, he won't be going nowhere.
Enough pining, David.
Sorry, Dave.
You've got to pick up your pal and get on the road.
Well, you know, Tamina, what I'm impressed with you is that you felt right at the beginning of this trip quite relaxed. And now you're so relaxed, I'm surprised you're not fully reclined.
In the back seat.
Yeah, it's like completely recumbent.
I mean, how could I not be relaxed?
You're onto something there, folks. It's been a long day. How about some shut-eye? We're Lancashire bound today for the 4th showdown between our bickering buddies. After the hunt around Herefordshire and its neighbours, our rivals have gathered their goods and hopped up to Leyland, where they'll be putting their buys to the test at Warren and Wignall auctioneers. David's leading 3-0, but Tamina's determined to get at least 1 win under her belt.
I took your advice this time, David.
What's that?
I bought things I loved.
Good.
Yeah.
That works.
It does, doesn't it?
Doesn't
I'm
always
happy, at
make
least.
money, but it sort of works.
And wielding the gavel today is auctioneer James Warren. He'll be selling to people in the room, online and on the phones.
Are we sure on these at 180?
Thrifty David only spent £157 on 5 items. I wonder what James thinks.
My favourite of these lots would be the basket. This is quite interesting. It's from the Nagaland region in northeastern India. Similar baskets were used by tribes for head hunting, but I think this one is definitely a work basket.
Thank goodness.
It could do okay. I think maybe around £50.
Tamina blew her entire £200 budget on her 5 lots. Anything jump out, James?
Out of these, my favourite would be the statue. This depicts the Hindu goddess Parvati. I think this has got some age to it, perhaps 17th or 18th century. It could do okay. Again, maybe around £50.
Right, time to grab that gavel, James.
Exciting.
Oh, are you feeling a bit nervous then? Tell the truth.
Yeah, always nervous.
Up first is Tamina's Middle Eastern scribe's writing set.
An Ottoman pen holder with like a little inkwell that's got a shell lid to it. It's nice little features, all functional.
Yeah.
Brass.
We've got the Ottoman scribe's pen holder with 10, 15 here. Is it 20? 20 takes it at £20. Who's in at 25? £20. Are we done on this at £20? Fair warning then, at 20.
Oh well, at least it didn't lose money.
Well,
Nothing lost, nothing gained.
not really.
Yeah.
Come on, James, reel in some bids for David's roach pole.
Yeah, we're now both trained. Are we fishermen, women, or people?
Fisher people.
Fisher people. Now, this, though, is a fishing pole. It's a roach pole.
We've got bids online on this one coming in up to £15. We're asking
Yes,
20
you
now.
see.
We're on the web at 15. Any more for this one? Are we done? £15.
Clever purchasing there, David.
That is not an anticlimax.
Next, will bidders be in tune with Tamina's ziva?
Let's manifest. I want it to make money.
Shall I manifest for you?
Please, you do better at it.
It won't make money. That's me manifesting. It won't make money.
One antique German Ziva. There you go. We've got 15, 20 still at the desk. We're asking 25 for it. At £20 bid here, 25.
Hours of enjoyment.
It makes a
On your own.
beautiful sound.
At 30, 35, is it 40? Any advance? Are we done? Fair warning, at 35. 40, new bidder. 40.
Come on, Tamina.
45. I think this could be a world record for the sale of a Ziva.
No, that's just kidding.
And it goes at 45.
Nice manifesting there, Tamina. You've equalised.
Yeah.
Your manifestation was better than mine.
Thank God, you wanted it to not make money.
But will David be collecting bids with his boxes?
Do you like a good vintage tin box?
I do, actually.
How about 4?
So how many you bought?
4 vintage metal boxes. We've got 15, 20 online, 25 and 30 still at the desk. We'll go 35 for them. Here at £30. Any advance on 30 for these?
Let's get the internet going.
And these go on the web then at 35.
Don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. Ouch.
Oh dear, David, that'll give Tamina the chance to get ahead.
That's horrible.
Oh.
Has that cheered you up no end?
No, David, I don't want to see you lose.
Next, it's small, but could be mighty.
A really pretty Pietra soapstone box.
Do you predict a profit?
Well, if I make a loss, it'll be so minuscule that I think I'll be okay.
All right. Okay.
Start me at a couple of quid for that one. A couple of pounds for it. 2 bid at the back. It's got to go then. And a couple of pounds for this one. Are we done? Got 3 online. 4. 4. 5. Is it 10? 10 quid.
What?
At £10. In the room then. It's got to go then at 10.
Go, Tamina. Excellent work.
I think a round of applause
Thank you,
for that
thank
one.
you,
I
yeah.
think very well done. Yeah.
Now, will David's basket be scooping up the bids?
How would you fancy a headhunter's basket?
Headhunters.
You know my tea picker basket?
Yeah.
There's talk that it might be a headhunter's basket. Yes!
Ooh.
Now, if it is, it's possibly the rarest thing in this room.
But it isn't.
Come to an Indian tribal Nagaland basket with £40 straight in here. We'll go 45 for this one. I'm at the desk at £40, quickly for 45.
Come on.
Any more for it? At £40. Are we done then? At £40, last call.
Let's hope whoever bought it just uses it for tea, eh?
Double bubble, though.
Still a winner.
bubble.
That's a good
Yeah.
strategy.
Yeah, it is.
Tamina's lead was short-lived, but up next is auctioneer James's favourite.
It's a bronze goddess sculpture. Probably Parvati, maybe.
The goddess of love. Hello, madam.
I hope it does well. It's a really beautiful thing.
It's a fabulous thing. I love it.
We come to a small bronze Indian goddess with bids straight in on this one up to 40, online 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70 bid. Any advance, anyone in the room at 75, 75, 80.
Yeah.
At 80.
It deserves it.
Quickly now, if you're bidding on this, are you back in at 85 on the web? At £80. I'll sell it then at 80.
Well done.
Go.
Well done.
Thank you.
Good-o, she's flying now.
Cracking. Yeah.
Oh, I'm pleased.
Now, will bidders share David's love for the tobacco jar?
Now, this is, of course, the Antiques Road Trip. Let me introduce you to a real antique. Mid-18th century George II lead tobacco box with its original tamper and tobacco inside.
And tobacco. 18th century tobacco?
Well, I don't know whether it's
Let's
18th
hope
century
not,
tobacco. I don't think you'd smoke it.
We've got the English lead tobacco jar with bids on this coming in up to 20. We'll go 25 for it. At £20. Anyone in at 25?
Oh, after the big build-up.
At 20. Quickly now for 25. All
Go
done.
on.
£20 for it.
No one in the room? You've got no taste at all.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's no need for that, David, thank you.
25. New bidder online.
You see, there's a bid on it.
On the web it goes then at 25.
Oh.
See, admonishing the crowd gets you nowhere.
I'll have to stop picking these
Do you know
things up.
what? They didn't handle it.
Maybe they
early
smoked
it
the
was.
tobacco.
That's what they paid £25 for.
Last up for Tamina is her Lotus shoes. They were expensive, so a big gamble.
I've got Chinese foot binding slippers.
Oh, ouch.
They're smaller than the palm of my hand.
Talk about social history.
Oh,
They could take you on a journey, couldn't they?
As long as that journey isn't by foot.
They could. I pay quite a bit for them, though.
With 25 at the desk, we'll go 30 on these. In the room at £30. Anyone in at 35 online for these? So we're in the room then at £30.
No, it's not doing so well.
Oh, that's a double ouch.
Yeah.
Oh, bad luck. Sometimes the right bidders just aren't there on the day.
It's a big loss, that one, isn't it?
£60. I thought I was taking good advice from you, David.
Don't blame me for your purchasing.
Right, last lot, David's Canterbury. Will it stack up the bids?
Early 19th century, mahogany, beautifully constructed. It's beautiful.
This sounds like winning talk, David.
This is the George III Regency period mahogany Canterbury. With 50 straight in at the desk, we'll go 5 for it. I've got 60s at 5, takes it in the room at 65. Now we're asking 70, 75, 80, 85.
It needs to be 200, doesn't it?
Does it? Does it need to be?
130, 140, 150, 160. We're in the room at 150. Any more online? Are we done on this at 150?
Oh, it's still good.
Blimey, after some very meagre profits, what a finish!
Wow.
Furniture.
Good
Furniture.
work. About you, love.
It's coming back. It really is coming back.
That was a lovely piece. though.
Beautiful
Yeah.
thing. Beautiful thing. Oh, I think we could do a bit of fresh air. Fancy a bit of fresh air?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you want to lead the way?
Let's.
It was a mixed bag today. Tamina had a promising start, but her Lotus shoes cost her the win. After auction fees, she finishes on a loss of £63. David's Canterbury saved his bacon. After a rocky start, he finishes on £48.90 profit after sale and costs. All profits at the end of the road trip will go to children in need. Well done, David.
Oh,
Now, I'm actually quite pleased with that.
what are you pleased about?
It wasn't quite as catastrophic
Right.
as it has been.
Okay. So next time you've got to be delighted. How's that?
Okay, well,
Okay, so
delighted by my loss.
Oh, Tamina, I'm feeling lucky for you.
Next time, David lets his inner child run wild.
Right, off we go.
Tamina is monkeying around. And they're both big fans of a fan.
Oh, hello, David. Do you like my fan?
I do.